Hello friends, welcome to Swapnil's IAS. In the previous videos, we had covered up to chapter 7 of the Economic Survey 2023. Please find the links to them in the description. In this video, we shall be covering chapters 8 and 9 of the survey. Let's get started. The significance of agriculture in Indian economy was well recognized and acknowledged during and post the COVID-19 pandemic, when the sector showed remarkable growth despite slowdown in other sectors. The private investment in agriculture, and which had been dropping since 2013-14 from a high of 9.6% of GDP, again began its upward march from 2018-19 and stood at 9.3% in 2020-21. The public investment in the sector remains at 4.3% in 2020-21. As per the fourth advanced estimates for 2021-22, the production of food grains and oilseeds has been rising year on year. Production of pulses has also been notably higher than the average of 23.8 million tons in the last 5 years. Production of oilseeds also crossed the mark of 30 million tons and continues to grow further. However, the changing climate has been impacting agriculture adversely. The year 2022 witnessed an early heat wave during the wheat harvesting season, adversely affecting its production. The year experienced a decline in the sown area for paddy cultivation too in the Kharif season due to delayed monsoons and deficient rainfall. The scheme of Kisan Credit Card, initiated in 1998, has been pivotal in enabling access of farmers to institutional credit facilities. As of 30th December 2022, banks issued Kisan Credit Cards to 3.89 crore eligible farmers, with the Government of India extending the KCC facility to fisheries and animal husbandry farmers in 2018-19, the number of such cards in the fisheries and animal husbandry sector has also grown. Another scheme named Modified Interest Subvention Scheme (MISS) has been launched to provide short-term credit to farmers at subsidized interest rates. Under this scheme, short-term agriculture loan up to Rs 3 lakhs is available at 7% per annum to farmers engaged in agriculture and allied activities, including animal husbandry, dairying, poultry, fisheries, etc. An additional 3% subvention, prompt repayment incentive, is also given to the farmers for prompt and timely repayment of loans. Therefore, if a farmer repays his loan on time, he gets credit at 4% per annum. As a result of the initiatives taken and measures to strengthen existing policies, there has been a consistent increase in the agriculture credit flow over the years. In 2021-22, a credit of Rs 18.6 lakh crore was dispersed to the agriculture sector by the institutional sources. The United Nations General Assembly, in its 75th session during March 2021, declared 2023 the International Year of Millets. Millets are smart foods with high nutritional value, are climate resilient, and align with several of UN Sustainable Development Goals. These are also important by virtue of their mammoth potential to generate livelihoods, increase farmers' income, and ensure food and nutritional security all over the world. The livestock sector grew at a compound annual growth rate of about 8% during 2014-15 to 2020-21 at constant prices, and its contribution to total agriculture gross value addition at constant prices has increased from 24.3% in 2014-15 to 30.1% in 2020-21. The dairy sector is the most critical component of the livestock sector, employing more than 8 crore farmers directly, and is the most prominent agrarian product. The annual average growth rate of the fisheries sector has been about 7% since 2016-17 and has a share of about 6.7% in total agriculture GVA. The food processing sector is of enormous significance for India's development because of the strong connections and interactions it promotes between industry and agriculture. During the last 5 years ending FY21, the food processing industry sector has been growing at an average annual rate of 8.3%. The value of agri-food exports, including processed food exports, was about 11% of India's exports during 2021-22. Till December 2022, the National Food Security Act provided for coverage of up to 75% of the rural and up to 50% of the urban population highly subsidized food grains at the rate of 35 kg per family per month to households covered under Antyodaya Anna Yojana and at the rate of 5 kg per person per month to priority households. In a recent decision, the government has decided to provide free food grains to about 81.35 crore beneficiaries under the National Food Security Act for 1 year from 1st January 2023. To ease the hardships faced by the poor due to economic disruption caused by COVID-19, the government initially launched Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana for the period from April to June 2020. However, keeping in view the need for continuous support to the poor and the needy, the scheme has been extended and implemented in various phases. To further ease the process of access to food, the government launched a citizen-centric and technology-driven scheme in 2019 called the One Nation, One Ration Card scheme. The system enables intrastate and interstate portability of ration cards. Friends, here we complete the chapter 8 of the survey. Before proceeding to chapter 9, let me put a question to you so as to be attempted with regards to mains examination. Elaborate the significance of agriculture in the Indian economy. Let's now start the chapter 9. Industrial sector contributes to 30% of the gross value addition of the Indian economy. Within the sector, manufacturing has the highest share of GVA at around 17%. However, electricity, gas, water supply and other utility services and construction are the fastest growing categories in the sector. It can be seen that except crude oil, the other 7 components of the core industries recorded a growth during FY23 over FY22 and FY21. This growth is bound to transmit to other non-core industries. Conversely, it may also be viewed as a result of the growth in non-core industries. Notwithstanding an overall drop in FDI in the first half of FY23, inflows have stayed above the pre-pandemic levels, driven by structural reforms and measures improving the ease of doing business, making India one of the most attractive FDI destinations in the world. The industries manufacturing computer, software and hardware received the highest FDI to the tune of 34%. Services comes second with 22% FDI. The domestic electronics industry as of FY20 is valued at $118 billion. India aims to reach $300 billion worth of electronics manufacturing and $120 billion in exports by FY26, supported by the vision of a $1 trillion digital economy by 2025. Electronic goods were among the top 5 commodity groups exhibiting positive export growth in November 2022, with the exports in this segment growing year on year by 55.1%. India has become the second largest mobile phone manufacturer globally, with the production of handsets going up from 6 crore units in FY15 to 31 crore units in FY22. Participation in the production-linked incentive scheme will help many more domestic players to attain economies of scale in production through localizing. Hence, this will further enhance export competitiveness and increase India's participation in the global value chain. Under the Program for Development of Semiconductors and Display Manufacturing Ecosystem in India, the Cabinet approved the comprehensive development of a sustainable semiconductor and display ecosystem in the country with an outlay of Rs 76,000 crores. India's domestic pharmaceutical market is estimated at $41 billion in 2021 and is likely to grow to $65 billion by 2024 and is further expected to reach $130 billion by 2030. The nation is the largest provider of generic medicines globally, occupying a 20% share in global supply by volume, and is the leading vaccine manufacturer globally with a market share of 60%. The performance of pharma exports in FY22 has been robust, sustaining growth despite the global trade disruptions and drop in demand for COVID-19 related treatments. FDI inflows have increased fourfold over 5 years until September 2022 to $699 million, supported by investor-friendly policies and a positive outlook for the industry. As per the Global Innovation Index GII 2022 report, India entered the top 40 innovative countries for the first time in 2022 since the inception of GII in the year 2007. India also ranks among the largest startup ecosystems in the world. There are two terms mentioned in this section that we must be aware of. It refers to the phenomena wherein many Indian companies have been getting headquartered overseas, especially in destinations with favorable legal environments and taxation policies. Some companies decide to flip because the major market of their product is offshore. It is the reverse of the earlier phenomenon. This has been facilitated by relatively easy access to capital through private equity and venture capital ecosystem in the country and growing maturity of India's capital markets. Friends, here we complete chapters 8 and 9 of the economic survey. Before signing off, let me convey a message to all those aspirants who will be having their last attempt this year. Don't think of it as if it is your last chance, but have an approach as if it is your first one with the same enthusiasm and motivation. It's not over yet and it won't ever until you believe in yourself. So keep believing in yourself and keep studying. All the best.